Welcome to the Learning Curve, powered by Two Turn, the podcast for center owners who care as much about their spreadsheets as they do their students. I'm Adam. I'm here to get into the weeds of running a successful center. Today, we're joined by Pet, the founder and company director of PlayLab Kids. Welcome, Pet.
Hello, nice to be here today.
Yeah, please introduce yourself and what you do.
Okay, my name is Pet, and I'm the founder and company director of PlayLab Kids, which is an after school provider for science programs to international schools in Bangkok.
And what made you start this?
I've always really enjoyed science, and when I was starting the company, I realized that there aren't too many programs offered for kids that do after school specifically science experiments. So I wanted to try to offer that and encourage problem solving and critical thinking skills in children. So science was the best venue for that. So yeah, then I started the company, and that's where I am now.
Explain how you started and kind of what the structure is.
Sure. So I was a kindergarten teacher and early years science teacher for a few years. And then I started my own program. So basically, I designed a mechanical engineering program for kids. And then once I had the program, I thought, okay, now I can try to sell this to schools. I tried it as camps first, it did really well. And then I started sending emails, cold emails to schools. My first school started in September 2023, and since then we've grown steadily.
Tell me about the process from the beginning, like how you started the camp and then the cold calling or cold emailing schools can be difficult for people. Like, how did
Mm.
you get traction or how did you get your first meeting?
Sure. Actually, I don't think that there was any secret sauce to it.
Mm.
I just got lucky with the first school that I emailed. I emailed Alliance Française Bangkok, which is a French cultural center here. I noticed that they had art classes available for kids, but there wasn't anything on the tab on the website. So I messaged them directly and said, "Hi, I offer art and science activities for kids. Would you be interested?" They were interested. So that's how the first camp started, and I've been working with them since 2022. Same with the cold calling and cold emailing. There wasn't really anything to do but just write the email and send it. I've since refined the system, but that was all it took. Just having the courage to press send. Yeah.
Well, they get a lot of emails, they get a lot of offers. How do you think you broke through?
I think that I already had a lot of credibility. So I used to also do art workshops for kids and adults. So any sort of work that was available, I would take it. So that was teaching camps or doing corporate team building events at hotels for larger clients. So, and I constantly posted it. I had a social media page where I updated all of those projects. So if any facilitator or administrator at a school saw my email, they could click to see the link and there would be a whole portfolio of experience there already. So that credibility really helped me with, I think, getting my first client.
Yeah, that's smart. How did you grow from the first uh collaboration?
Yeah, I think it was a mix of word of mouth and also the continued cold emailing. Um, I also got better at it, so I would look on LinkedIn to see who was the specific point of contact at the school, and then I would message them directly on LinkedIn, or I would only email during particular times of year. So there are certain times of year where the coordinators at school are looking for new programs to add, and that's usually before the next term starts. So I started contacting them at those key times, and that really boosted our clientele. Like we would get maybe two or three new clients at a time.
Wow.
Yes,
You were doing this all by yourself,
yes.
pretty much. What were the initial bottlenecks you hit?
Big bottleneck was realizing I needed to delegate and I couldn't keep all the information in my head. So, writing SOPs, writing training plans for the teachers that we eventually hired to go out and do the program themselves without me constantly needing to oversee or tell them what to do.
That is critical. I think everyone hits that bottleneck eventually.
Yes.
If you were starting over, what's one thing you would have done differently with that knowledge?
I think I might have started with a business partner, but also I would have maybe had some initial drafts of SOPs first instead of making them after we already needed them. Like, would have started with some sort of basic overview first and then slowly refined them as we started expanding.
As you expanded, tell me kind of your method for expanding, hiring practices, and just any operational challenges with scaling up
Hmm.
kind of as a solo founder.
I would say always having to be on top of everything very fast, if that makes sense. Always having to respond to messages quickly. I know that that doesn't seem like a very difficult thing to do, but when there's so many different requests going on, then I think that was a challenge for me to constantly be on call for staff to contact me, for people at the school to contact me. So I had to myself learn to be more available. um, for hiring practices, actually, people were very eager to work, so that was never really a bottleneck for us. But more like I realized that I needed to maintain a strong relationship with the people that I worked with. So that looked like checking in with them every week, or actually knowing more about their lives, not just about the work that they were doing, but the goals that they wanted for themselves. And then I realized that when I invested that time and that energy into them, they also invested in the company and they did better work. So I think that was one of the things to realize was uh, being a good leader involves taking good care of the people that you work with.
Talk to me about the challenges of kind of growing in Thailand, because I think the school system and the regions are quite different than like our neighboring countries. Like, what
Mhm.
should people know about the Thailand education market?
Okay. I think one thing to know about Thailand education is that it's very diverse. Do you mean people as in like people wanting to start businesses in Thailand or
Yeah, I think a lot of people start in surrounding countries. I talk to a lot of them too, and they want to get into Thailand thinking they can just copy and paste the strategy. What are like the
uh
nuances of the Thai market?
okay. I would say that for the Thai market, for the paid market, you for a business, it makes a lot more sense to enter into private or international schools. There are other schools, such as like bilingual schools or government schools. I would say, government schools are the majority that make up the schools that kids go to. Those are not very well paid. They usually rely on government funds, or tuition is very low, so they don't have extra budget to spend on other programs such as ed tech or even improving equipment like getting computers for the students, stuff like that. It depends on the government school as well, but I would say, because if for a business you're looking to get into making money, so the best school to enter would be private or international.
Yeah. Tell me about kind of the systems you did use when you were running this. Was it spreadsheets? Did you use anything else? How did you manage all this?
Definitely spreadsheets. We use a lot of Google Sheets.
Yeah.
I had to insist with the people that I worked with that please don't send PDFs or any document that I can't easily edit. It always has to be a spreadsheet. Yes.
Did you make these yourself?
Yes.
And it was like scheduling, payroll, everything?
Yes. It wasn't really too difficult because we never really had a team bigger than 8 people at a time. So it was really only that many people to keep track of. And because we do programs at international schools, it's not like we have our own center to oversee. The school also participates in the scheduling. So we don't necessarily need to know where every kid is at each time because we know that the school will gather them all in the cafeteria at this time and we just come pick them up and bring them to the room. So it made it a lot easier for us. Yeah.
What about quality control
Mm.
for the teaching, the curriculum, classroom management? How did you deal with that?
For quality control, because we have two programs. The first one I designed myself, so I already knew how to train people to do that. So that was not a big worry for me. The second program we teach is called Kitty Science, which doesn't belong to us. It's a curriculum that we subscribe to. And this is a very complex curriculum. That was more difficult to train because it requires teaching a scientific concept to very young children, so 4 to 6 years old. It's not something that any teacher can just easily come in and implement. So for that, I provide training twice a year um, for any new staff. But to be honest, the team that we have now has been with us for so long. They know how to do everything already. I guess that's one element of quality control is uh, keeping long-term staff so that we don't have to train someone new every time. But also, I would constantly check in with them, saying like, "How did it go today? Oh, today you're teaching this so and so lesson. Um, for that, you should use this kind of material or so on and so forth." Now that we've been operating for a little while, the manager, we have a manager now, she can tell the staff to do that. So it's not just reliant on me.
Your teacher retention is so impressive, especially for this region. Usually
No,
it's like
thank you.
6 months to a year
Mhm.
on average. Teacher turnover super high.
Yes.
For you to maintain those teachers for that long is like a huge testament.
Oh, thank you. It is also because we pay very well.
But that's a
So,
huge thing. I mean I
mm.
mean, that does make you stand out a lot.
Oh, thank you. I think that for quality, it's essential to pay people well. Um, I think that people should be paid for the quality of their work. So, and it helps us to maintain good service.
I think it's
Yeah.
completely worth the investment. The ROI is so much bigger than saving a
Yeah.
few dollars here and there.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me about the evolution of your company,
Hmm.
where it is now,
Okay.
and the future for you.
Yes. So actually, after 3 years, we've been working in international schools for a while, and now I'm planning to sell the brand. And I myself am looking to start a different company, working in retail and tech.
Can you walk me through how you came to that decision and what the process was once you did come to that decision?
Okay. Um, I've been working in education for about more than 7 years. I started as a tutor in university. I studied education in university, and once I graduated, I've only worked in education. So I think after that long, I started to want to explore something else. I've always had many different interests. Education has been really good to me, and I feel like I've learned a lot and possibly gone as far as I could in my career for education, having started a company. Um, another one of the main reasons for deciding to sell was because I have been doing it on my own. And despite looking for business partners or support to continue growing the company, I think that I've grown it as far as I could solo. So now that I have, I think it makes sense for me to sell the brand to someone else who can grow it. And while I personally pursue other interests, yeah.
I think it's great. I think what you've done is super impressive.
Thank you.
Any advice you give to anyone looking to enter the Thai market?
Sure. I would say really research your client. What do they need, right? Any business is solving a problem. So if you can solve that problem really well or better than your competitors at a cheaper price or at a higher quality, then I think you will do well.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Petcharat Prayonghom. I'm sure that the text will be there, so
Link will
you don't have
be
to
in the
spell it.
description.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good luck on everything you do in the future. I'm
Thank
really
you.
impressed. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for having me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.